Okay, very interesting. Are they anticipating Jacob's pick here of elephants, and that's why they've brought it? I mean, I can't think of any other reason why you would want to do that.
They already have double Germanicos with Pilas, their own their own javelin with Sula. So they definitely have enough javelins to throw at elephants. Now even more. That can be useful, for example, for cavalry. If cavalry gets close to ranged units that those two spearmen are protecting, and you can throw javelins at them even if they don't charge you. And
Yeah,
slow
and
them
it slows
down.
the calf down. Yeah.
That's
It
true.
pretty much anvils them from range.
I think Jacob here very much contemplating the elephant, or whether or not he wants to take another infantry in order to kind of be that front line.
Mm-hmm.
Once it seems like.
Elephants it is. Do you want to ready up, Mystery?
Not really, but I will make do it.
What do you mean not really? I'm sure excited. I'm pumped. I want to see this game.
I think
I can hear that.
I want Jacob's team to win. I don't want this to be a 3-0 smash.
Yeah, I want it to be like a 2v2 and then like one final like all or nothing match.
And then someone brings out like a cheese strat in the 5th game and wins that way. That's what I want to see. I want to see
Yeah, me
like
too.
I want to see like triple cav and light artillery or something.
Why not choose all the way through?
Or like
It's
one
true.
really cheesy strategy would be like War Dogs, for example.
Oh yeah, I mean we both know
War
that
Dogs and Foxes.
both teams can pull out. Oh yes, let's do it. Or like full barbarian composition.
Barb plus Carthage could work, like entirely ignoring Greeks and Romans. But
It's true.
I think they want to go for what they really know, what they've trained, and more reliable picks rather than trying some cheese strats. Usually those cheese strats rely on, I don't know, one thing, one mechanic, one maneuver to make it work. And for that you need a very good team coordination, which is hard to expect from a team that was put together 3 days ago.
And here we are, beginning of the 3rd match, possibly deciding the fate of who is going to go through. The Royal Peltasts on the deploying on the north side, they only need to win one more game in order to win this. Whereas the Sacred Band, they have really everything to play for at the moment.
It's do or die for them. Oh, it's do or third place match.
Base or cut them down.
Do or 3rd place match. That sounds less dramatic, slightly. But it does look like we are seeing exactly what we're expecting. Cavalry moving into the city just to make sure that there's no cheeky ninja capping going on, while the majority going for the tower. Greek cav are soon going to be in range of that tower with 2 units ready to follow up on Prussian Prince. Should he dare to touch it, he decides rightly so that this is way too much and he's going to give the tower over to the Sacred Band.
Now, Sacred Band L is moving up now.
Looks like the Royal Peltasts are going to have to retake that again. Not much. They don't really have anything in range in order to challenge that. And rightly so, they have decided to turn away and run into the safety out of range from that Vision Watchtower and to set up a line somewhere on this high ground here. Right now, we're seeing Dumek and Jumoxi make use of this high ground here, waiting for something to peer out of the shadows. But right now, they have absolutely no vision. All they know is that the enemy watchtower has been taken. Pinging the long grass, very aware that something might be coming through that way, which is a very strong strategy.
Yeah, it's hard to defend that hill because you can hide many things in that long grass and shoot for the enemy for free.
Jacob possibly going for a sneaky play there, thinking maybe this is my opportunity to go through the middle and force the enemy team to split. but they do get scouted just in time in order to see that, and Jacob turns around and thinking, you know what, that's probably not worth it, and I might get isolated and die. A little bit of a
He's just
stalemate
waiting
so
in a
far.
flank, waiting for the enemy team to attack and then come and flank them.
And some shots coming out. First blood does go down, nothing too huge. They are aware now that the Royal Peltasts do have a sizable force in the middle into the long grass, in this little bit of this kind of villa here in the middle. And
Oh, actually,
Sacred-
Pelasgos and .L are in the long grass on the side of the enemy. Like really close to that hill, that small high ground where they're all gathered on. So he is in range of dealing devastating damage there.
And DOTL does get scouted there. They do see that there is a sizable spear force in that long grass, and the trigger has been pulled. Looks like they are moving forward. Will they move forward on several fronts? That's the question.
Looks like Pelasgos is actually falling back now. I'm not sure why. .L is still advancing though.
DOTL possibly moving forward in order to provide vision there for his team. And the archers have now been spotted. One of the great things about Elephant, the archers are now in range, and the slingers are moving up in order to try and get there as much as possible. They are now in range, and we'll expect some fire to go down. Unfortunate there, decent amount of damage on the initial volley for Pelasgos, managing to dodge the rest of it and retreating back into the grass, probably unaware that he's still in vision range thanks to that elephant, and the Royal Peltast slingers do emerge and start peppering Jacob, giving him some free defense points there, not really caring.
When that XP gonna be huge after the battle?
Meanwhile, Prussian Prince has to somehow decap Cabarro there in the base at some point in the future.
I like this. I really like this strategy. One of the best things to deal with a stalemate is to just turn around and cap. And especially when the enemy team is the one that's aggressing on you, you're forcing them to move a very long way.
Indeed.
DOTL turning around, deciding, getting scouted as he decides to give up this grass, and that is going to be a strong signal there for the Sacred Band to now try and collapse on them, try and catch them on the retreat.
And Jacob is actually advancing now with his elephants.
If they can get there quick enough, then that will be a huge surround there, forcing them off the high ground and off of that initial advantage that they had in the beginning.
Yeah, they've spotted some infantry coming back, at least 2 players, it's Bastion and DOTL. So now they should push for the watchtower, and this is what they're doing.
Now, are they
Why
giving up their
out?
aggression? It looks like now that they are fighting on 2 fronts, getting caught in the wood. Freebird there, setting up a Testudo line. Now, if Sacred Band engage right now, they are heavily outnumbering their opponents, at least for the first 2 minutes of the fight, as the rest of the team run around to decap. And Jacob is going to go in there and start chasing down those javelins.
Royal Peltasts will have to pull back if they want to rejoin with the rest of their team, or fight them, and that may cost them very dearly. But Jacob is already in. He's in the forest, being shot at by 3 javelins. One of his elephants is almost down already. They need those slingers and archers on top of those javelins. Otherwise, they'll deal with those elephants very quickly.
And he needs to get that support from the infantry, but he's just not getting it. There's too much just protecting this range blob at the moment, and Jacob is getting focused down really hard. He hasn't pulled the damage out that he needs in order to make that charge worth it.
Sacred Band
Luckily,
seems to
going up
forget
for
that
a
all
nice
the cavalry
charge there
went
on the
back to
slingers.
decap.
Bastard protecting the slingers there with his life, but he does manage to find a charge onto the javelins. That might be huge for Jacob. Seeing that threat, he's now tied up. Jacob can do what he does best and stomp around and make a shit ton of noise.
Except he's almost dead, and he won't be alive for much longer.
I
They
think
have
that was
Vasset
a
in there
little
as
bit
well
too
with
late.
Pilas. There we go. Both elephants are down. That being said, Sacred Band still has very slight HP advantage. So it can still go their way. Their javelins are full HP and now ripping into dot.
Now that's exactly what they need. They need to stabilize. They have kind of already won the range war very slightly, they need to stabilize this infantry line as well, because they won't win in a head-to-head infantry fight. It's Germanicus against Miltiades. It's not going to go well for them. They need to get something very soon, because right now their archers are very far back and their slingers are very far back, not contesting the enemy archers and slingers. But I've spoken too soon, because Peltasts has a hunter on his heel. Buxity not finding the gap that he needs to in order to really win it for his team.
Yeah, Grey Khan is retreating. They need to get Peltasts down and send slingers with their own slingers, but it's hard to do because they don't have watchtower.
And a little bit of a misplay there by the Sacred Band cavalry, walking into spears when they should, when they already had line of sight with them. But there is an opportunity there to charge those javelins. He has seen it. Will he be able to get there in time before losing too many men? And he does get a rear charge into the javelins. It doesn't look like it will be worth it for them, because they will soon get surrounded and completely flanked, removed from this game.
Actually, the premium spears we've been talking about are Spartan hoplites instead of spearmen. Now we see Royal Peltasts clawing back the HP advantage, thanks to Peltasts and Sin.
And a few mischarges here by the cavalry. Really, trades going the wrong direction there. Sin gets a really nice volley off onto him. He is taking fire really heavily, and it looks like he's starting to just that damage on him alone is starting to even out the score even a little bit.
But it's all about that watchtower, really. Royal Peltasts hold that watchtower for the majority of the fight. There is no pikes nor elephants anymore to threaten that watchtower and make them leave it.
Peltasts is coming under fire now, and the score has evened out even more than it was before. We're starting another infantry engagement. Bastard thinking, you know what, fuck this, I want to get into the game, give me some kills. And he decides to take a fight on two different fronts, popping his vengeance, slightly mischarging there, not managing to get the burst damage that he wants in order to get the game. He's going to get punished heavily for that, as he loses almost a full unit of Germanicus.
Ojumoxi managed to kill Sin pretty much in the meantime, which means now they have long range advantage. They can start pulling back. Ojumoxi can now entirely focus on killing Peltasts. If they start doing that, they still might pull out a win.
So now the javelins and the spearmen of Sacred Band are basically surrounded by the enemy.
Yeah, that's an uncoordinated retreat. They're sacrificing
Yes.
those two players in order to pull back, and I think that's too big of a sacrifice at this point.
Especially because the players that are sacrificing is two spearmen and their javelins. So it seems like the javelins are getting out of there.
But not
Maybe
very
not.
healthy.
Yes.
Still being shot at by Peltasts archers, which cannot be shot back at because of no vision.
Bastard and Freebird deciding that now was the right time to pull that trigger and to enter the fight. They were previously just holding that tower for them. They saw the opportunity to start a fight on another front that they didn't want to go, and this might be a huge charge here by Prussian Prince, managing to delete pretty much 2 units from the game and getting out completely unscathed. And it looks like that might be the last hope there.
Indeed. There's not much they can do to actually come back.
The infantry just not setting up the wall. I think they were retreating there from the Germanicus, realizing that they were going to lose that fight. But in the process of retreating, they basically completely lost their ranged advantage there, and they managed to get cut down. I think maybe what they should have done is they should have stood their ground, and yes, they would have lost the infantry fight eventually, but their range might have been able to even things out for them. And especially now that the javelins have pretty much gone, there's not much hope to stabilize this. You know, Mystery, I'm going to get out of here. You might want to move as well.
Fine with them. Can they charge Prussian Prince?
Let's chill here. Let's chill here.
SUNTZU is getting hunted down by Peltasts, Sin, and VR.
Yeah, somehow we've got
Last slinger
slingers
unit
behind
state.
enemy lines. OP tactic. but I mean, he just got left behind. His infantry line didn't turn around and set up a strong defense when they were at that opportunity, when they did kind of even out again, which meant all of their range had to turn around, and as soon as they turned around, they just got shot to pieces. Oh, we're about to get charged here. I'm not giving this guy the opportunity to get points from me.
Lennox is getting not really routed, but he will be defeated soon.
He's getting surrounded and attacked
pretty
from the
much
back.
is a GG.
I think once Lennox goes down, that will be GG call to Moxie not being able to do anything other than run away and delay the game as much as possible.
Well, the game only will go for
game's
2.5 more minutes.
Yeah, surprisingly long game. Big stalemate at the beginning. Not really deciding. I liked the initial strategy from the Sacred Band. I like that, you know, I'm going to force you to run away to decat. But I think the follow-up just wasn't quick enough. They just didn't have the unit mobility.
Yeah, I think when Jacob actually engaged and the Cav charged those javelins as well, the rest of the team didn't follow up and supported Jacob and the Cav player there. And they basically threw away the Cav unit and Jacob his completed elephant squad there.
You see, once
they were in a
again,
really
it's that
disadvantage.
mismanagement of that fine line between protecting your ranged and not being in the fight. And I think
Yes.
that was a little bit of mismanagement on that line. We had too many units protecting the range versus a cav that wasn't there. Well, meanwhile, their front line getting absolutely obliterated.
Looks like Ochi is the last man standing there.
Yeah,
He's going in.
Suiciding. Charging.
He will charge.
Ooh,
And he won the
nice.
charge.
Well, here's the one that charged, so.
Yeah.
A very nice battle as well, over 14 minutes.
Defeat is coming! Meet it head on! Defeat!
No,
The
I
enemy
didn't get the
holds our
decat.
base.
Yeah, that means that Sacred Band lost the third match and is out. Well, they're gonna fight for the third place.
Third place, and Royal Peltasts advancing to the final to face so far undefeated Lesbos Archers.
Very surprising there. We weren't expecting the Sacred Band to lose all 3 matches. I have to say they were close though.
A couple of times, yeah. This
Yeah,
was
other than the first one.
yeah. Basically, just like in this match, it was like the team didn't follow up on Jacob's engagement and the Cav player's engagement, which I think was like a big thing. We could have like killed a lot of units there if they just followed up, but they didn't. And the second match, well, it was just a lot of small mistakes. Basically, it wasn't like a.
I think a lot of it was just
Yeah,
team
finish.
coordination mistake. Not
Yeah.
moving in together, you know, maybe not waiting for stragglers. Like it does come down to 2 things. It's yes, somebody might be slow, somebody might be lagging behind, but then it's you still have to wait for that person to catch up occasionally.
Okay, we'll be going on a small 20-minute break, and after that we'll come back with third place match between Sacred Band and Returns Gladiators that will be cast by Kiwi and Foxgut. And at the same time, me and Sasha will be casting the final between Royal Peltasts and Lesbos Archers.
Perfect. Thanks to everyone who's been following so far. As Mr. just said, we're minute break and be back. Okay, break is on.